Hey everybody, I'll give you an early Happy New Year's 2021. You know, one of the common things that we do when we come to a new year is we take time to reflect. And I've started doing that over our Christmas break, and I hope you've had a great break so far. And I hope you find time to do some reflecting. In my own reflections, um, I was looking back in some of my notes that I've left myself back in June in one of my journal entries, and back in June I left myself these little notes: be patient, be flexible, and find ways to get into action. I was talking to myself in the pandemic back then, and I still have those talk to myself statements: be patient, be flexible, find ways to get into action. So in some ways, in this, since June 1st, it's going to be January 1st, a lot of things have not changed. Some of our circumstances are the same. But in that time, I think a lot of things have changed. And in my reflecting, I identified some of those things that have changed. I've learned a lot about myself. One of the things that I learned about myself is that and looking back, and the my mindset is that the things that I was thinking, the thoughts, the questions that I was allowing into my head, pretty much dictated the person I was or the emotions that I felt in that day. One of the beliefs I have is that the most predominant thought that you hold in your brain can lead to the energy, your productivity, and even your influence. So that thought, whatever it is, you allow it to hold in your brain, can eventually take a hold of you. And that thought can exhibit then how you live your life. So with that in mind, what I hope to do through this is to encourage some new thoughts. So reflecting on a couple things, some things for you to reflect on too. These are things that I've reflected on. Are my thoughts centered around myself? My current thoughts, are they in my brain? Are they centered around the circumstances that that we find ourselves in? Or do you find your thoughts to be centered around just other things that you have no control over? For 2021, let's create a new thought. And one of the ways that I think we can create new thought is by asking ourselves questions. And as I put in the Google form, if we ask ourselves questions, if we place a question in our mind, what happens is our brain gets into activity, gets into motion to seek to find the answers to those questions. So what questions are we putting through our head? What questions are we allowing to draw images into our head? So let's ask some new questions. So in the rest of this Google form, I've asked you some questions. I would love to get your response. I'd love to see kind of where you're at right now, but I'm going to answer them first for you. So the first question is, what is something to stop or eliminate, or maybe a habit that I can add that could change my energy? So what I found in reflecting was that I had a habit of watching the news. I was watching the news way too much because it was affecting how I was thinking, what I was putting in my brain, the questions, the images, the things on the news that it was constantly bombarding my brain. It was affecting my energy. So I had to make a conscious decision not watching the news. So I haven't watched the news for over 2.5 weeks now, and it definitely has affected my energy. Another thing, a habit that I wanted to create, again, reflecting about myself. One of the things I know about myself is that I'm at my best when I am creative, when I am, part of my identity is that I'm an athlete. So when I'm exercising, when I am in creative mode, I know about myself that I'm going to be at my best when I'm giving myself the chance to be those things. So I had to reestablish some habits of exercising, get in my workout space down here in the basement, 3-4 times a week, trying to get daily, but still working to get there. And then being creative. Whether it's cooking a meal, I love cooking. I love creating. I challenged my daughter Renee to a charcuterie board, contest. Who could make the best charcuterie board? Which I think I'm winning that, by the way. Renee has something else to say about that. But so, next question. Today, what is one thing that I can get excited about? What is one thing I can get excited about today? Well, today, this is Tuesday. The Tuesday before New Year's. I'm not sure of the date. I think December 29th. And one thing I can get excited about today is we're going to watch Wonder Woman. I'm going to set up the big screen today, and we're going to watch Wonder Woman 1984 down here in the basement. And my oldest daughter and her husband Josh and Maria, one of my granddaughters, is coming over. They're going to watch it with us, so I'm going to get very excited about that. So identifying what's one thing you can get excited about today. Next question. Who is someone I can surprise today with a note, a gift, or a sign of my appreciation? See, I think that's a great question, because then that forces me to get out of my self-centeredness thinking. So who is someone I can show my appreciation for? And for me today, it's gonna be my wife. I'm gonna when I go get dinner here from the grocery store, I'm gonna go get her just a flower and say thanks for being who she is in my life. Last question. Where can I be bold today? Where am I being challenged to move out of my comfort zone? So one of the things that I'm going to do today, starting today, leading up to New Year's, is I'm going to be able to create a vision board with pictures of my wife and I, our future, things that we're going to do, and just create a vision for what the days ahead of me can be. And that's moving out of my comfort zone a little bit, especially now in all these circumstances, having to intentionally move my mind space somewhere else, and create those thoughts. So I would love for you to share some of those answers with me. You don't have to, certainly, but I do encourage you to reflect during this time. Create some space for some new thoughts. Let those new thoughts grab a hold of you, so that we can enter 2021 maybe with a little more positive energy, living our best self. I think the world of you all. I look forward to seeing you again, and wish you a very, very happy New Year. God bless.